I am Robert of Gilwell. I'm the first person you've heard speak who is not a knight. I must say that I've been enjoying listening to children squabble over who's the oldest. I think I am the oldest memory here, but I will tell a few stories from before I joined in the 70s. And a couple of reasons I want to do this. The first story I want to tell you is about two Ansteorrans messing up and causing troubles that could have hurt Ansteorra very badly. And I want you to realize, yes, we have legends, and I will speak of two legends. And yes, we do great things, and things well worth remembering. But we're also people, and we make mistakes, and we can overcome yesterday's mistake, and we can always decide, I will be better now than I was. So let me tell you about the ugliest coronet bout in the history of the Principality of Ansteorra.
Now we're getting the good stuff. Let's see the dirt.
You have to understand it was a very different organization from the one unit. Look around you. Look at the costumes you see. The plainest costume you see right now would have won a costume contest then. It would not have been a question. We were new. We had no help at all because the crown is 1,500 miles away in Phoenix. The kingdom stretched from Idaho to Florida. And Ansteorra, when it began, was run more by household by any other thing because that's the only structure we had a right to set up because they don't exist. And so all of our stupid politics, all of our hates, all of our rivalries went around household. Two of the first three orders in the Principality of Ansteorra were household-based. The Pillars of Ansteorra was given to households, and the Principality Grace Award for serving the Prince and Princess, you did not become a ring thane to Prince Sean or Princess Katerina. You became a ring thane to Ravensword. That was their household. Our second prince and princess did not have a household and did not make any ring thanes. That is how crucial households were. And there were big rivalries and people not getting along. And one of the biggest differences between the SCA then and the SCA now is we had no adult supervision. I'm serious. The older ones were 25, 26. And when we got mad because that group has a different set of priorities than we do, we know how wrong they are. And there's no older person saying, look, I've seen this a lot. What they're doing isn't what you want to do, but they're doing it well, and that's cool. So this Coronet Tournament, which is how we choose the third Prince and Princess of Ansteorra, had already gotten very ugly. There were bad problems in the second and third round, which I'm not going to describe. It got to the final round. They were two great warriors. Their names were Simon of Amber Isle, who was one of the heads of House Mountain Gate, one of the two greatest households, and very bitterly opposed to the other great household, the Clan Cadal. The other warrior was Lord Von Acre, warlord of the Clan Cadal. Now, I'm not going to try to get into the details of what problems were. These two groups, in good faith, were pushing for what they believed in and knew the other group wasn't. And each of these two warriors knew he had to save Ansteorra from the other one. And they walked on the field knowing for the good of Ansteorra they had to win no matter what. Now, I've heard this story from each of them. And neither of them could tell me who was the first one to strike a good blow. But they both admit, I'm not going to call that. I have to do this for Ansteorra. And the blows got harder and harder. If he didn't call that one, I'm not going to call this one. I have to do this for Ansteorra. Eventually, one of them, in disgust, called a blow, but was not going to call a second one while this other guy's not calling. And the Corps of Engineers came to the site and said, "You must leave now. We're releasing a dam. You will." I'm serious. You will have to be gone in 30 minutes. This will be underwater. Pack up in the middle of the finals of Coronet Tournament. They go back and they're trying to finish this on the blacktop parking lot of a supermarket. This is not a background that inspires you to chivalry and the medieval honors. Finally, the other one called the blow, more or less in disgust. There was a break, during which at least one knight threatened to resign his belt, during which the crown threatened to resign his crown, during which the old marshal threatened to resign the office. At least two of those actually happened, but they eventually didn't happen, so. I'm trying to make it clear how ugly this situation is, okay? Now, these two men who really, really did not like each other went away together and talked. And again, I've gotten the story from both of them, and neither of them remembers who said which part of it. But they said, "Look, I don't like you, and I don't like what you do. I don't want you to be prince. But what we're giving Ansteorran now is worse than anything you would give. I will call the next time a sword even touches me." And they both agreed to that. And they walked out there and had, out of disapproval of each other, but an absolute concern to save Ansteorra, the cleanest bout there has ever been in a Coronet or Crown tournament. They were both absolutely on the fence. I'm not going to let that sword touch me. The bout was good. And the first sword that touched was Simon of Amber Isle's sword touching Lloyd Von Acre. Lloyd called it, and Simon became our third and final prince. Tessa became our third and final princess. And the reason I start with this story is you're going to hear great things about great people. These are not people who are greater than you. These are people who screw up all the time and can still be great, just like you can. Ansteorra isn't the golden place where everyone is perfect. Ansteorra is the golden place where after we fall down, we pick ourselves up.
Great, I get to follow Robin.